So while I was scrambling around on my live just a minute ago, Pamela Collins, she popped in and gave us her time to direct me to the correct testimony and where it's. I've seen it before, but I'm a little bit loopy today. But I want to respond to kitchen table research, or the morgue, or Sully, whatever the fuck she wants to call herself. Okay, because I just can't believe that she said that the effects of Darlie being fondled or molested, which her mother said she was molested, and she said she agreed, that it didn't affect Darlie. And then I want to respond to, in my text between me and Danelle while we're talking in the messages in Stop the Lies, Danelle flat told me that this is not something they talked about in their family. They protected her from it. She just don't want to talk about it. So this is a message to me from Pam. I'm going to give her the credit for digging and finding, and I'm going to present it. September 95. This is in the journal that she wrote. So it didn't bother her, but she's carrying it up until, a year before the murder. She still got it on her mind. But it didn't affect her. She's carried it all this time, though. Okay, and if you would, read for the jury. Time has passed so quickly since my last entrance in my journal. I've been very busy. Dana seems to be adjusting fine, as well as my mom. So they know what happened. I know Mom is having a hard time reliving her most unwanted experiences through counseling, but in the end, maybe it will make her heart a little softer. So she realized that her mom was cold and had a hard heart back then. I don't understand why Denny did it to me, what he did. So it's very hard to try and forgive him. She can't even forgive him. I know he must have a dark secret that happened as a child, and I pray to the Lord that one day he will ask for true forgiveness for his own soul. Let me stop you right there. Who are you referring to as Denny? Denny is my stepfather, or was my stepfather. Now, Mulder's changing it up a little bit right here, because later on he says, he gave you hell for you let that guy with that man, that your kids go with that man that molested you. And she says, yes. So right now here he's trying to downplay it a little bit. But he had put his hands on you at age 8. And it kept going. He tried to fondle. Fondling an 8-year-old child in their private parts is molesting. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. And that's what you have reference there too. When you talk to Danny, when you talk about Danny and how he must have a dark side to him to have done this to a child. Yes, sir. And you resented it very much so. She resented Danny doing it. And we're going to dig up where she was talking about where she resented her mother. And you told your mother about it? Oh, yes. And she felt guilty about not having. And it says right here, this is an open conversation in our family. And Danelle's part of that family. Now, here's the part where I'm talking to Danelle, has got me, And she told everybody that I said that she was guilty by the law of parties. All right? She said I said that to her. And you can go back and look at her videos. That's not what I said to her. And you say that I am guilty because of the law of parties is completely inaccurate. All right? All right? I never said that she is guilty because if you are intentionally lying, you would be covering for a killer. That's only if you're intentionally lying. Now she's telling me how I sound ridiculous. How's that ridiculous? If you cover for a liar, I don't know. It might not be law of parties, but it's she's leading me to the medical records. All right, I'm just going to show a little bit. Why can't he have 5 or 6 meetings? I mean, this is interesting too. I'll show the whole thing, but I want to go to the part now. Oh, it's not there where I asked her the question. She deleted those fucking messages. Because you can see where I'm asking her if I could talk about the molesting. Okay. I asked her above this if she wanted to talk about Dennis, her dad, and what was done, but I guess it's deleted. But you can see where I say she didn't want to talk about it. I said, okay, never again. I'm kind of mixed in debating with you. This whole social media thing has got to be harsh on you. You're very tough like your mama. You all are good folks. She says, I've been doing everything in my power to harass her. Okay? Okay, but I was asking her above this. I don't know where it went. I have no idea if she deleted it, deleted parts of them conversations. I don't know if you can go back and do that. I have no idea, but it was there. So, oh, there it is. And I says, Danelle, I'm asking you here because it's touchy. Darlie claims your father molested her and that she told your mom and your mother didn't believe it. I've always find that hard to believe because she let him keep the boys. One Mother's Day, she went to see Chippendales, who would leave her kids with someone who molested them as a child. I don't want to do this in a group unless you are okay with it. Did this happen? Nope. This is what we're dealing with here. I know nothing on that topic and don't ask questions on it. I will not touch that topic. Not my story to tell. Darlie just said it was an open conversation in her family. Who's lying? Who's lying here? So that's where I say, okay, never again. I'm sorry, I kind of mixed in debating with you. I told her I wouldn't bring it up again. I wasn't going to bring up anything about her family until her buddy Solly over there did what she did. Then we could talk about families now. That's her. And Danelle's under those videos where Solly's doing it with laughing faces. Well, who's fucking laughing now? And then you got Solly saying Solly out there now saying that it never affected her. She says, thanks. Yeah, that whole topic is not something I have ever had any info on, even though it was open discussion in their family. And I appreciate you being respectful, and I would have been. But don't go co-signing somebody that's up in there talking about my family. You may want to tell your friends, tread little so I don't have to remove myself. Well, you're the one that begged to join. I don't know why that one lady was so angry at my answer, but I will not repeatedly be attacked by people that know nothing about me. Well, you don't know anything about us. You asked for my opinion on the attack, and she totally wanted to make it something I didn't. But the minute it gets hostile, I'll leave. Hostile to her is, no, that's not what was said, and no, that's not what happened. That's hostile. I don't mind discussing things, but the minute it gets hostile, I will leave because I'm going to turn into my mama, and that's not good for anyone. Tread lightly, not tread little. I need my coffee before I start communicating. I was talking about where I booted Pam for free, Darlie. This is where she's talking about Pam, and Pam didn't like it. See, Danelle didn't realize that Pam and I share this page. And that one day you could be talking to me in Stop the Lies, or you could be talking to Pam. And we've had some very interesting people come in these messages that I'll never share. Never share. Nurses, detectives. That's why I kept the group here. I cannot see, and she's talking about Pam, I cannot see any redeeming qualities about her. What's she got to redeem? Is she repenting from her bad behavior? Pam is a very classy and intelligent person. She's a very good mother. She's a good person. She's one of the most classy people I've ever met in my life, as far as class goes. Deception and manipulation, but you can't call Pam out on a lie. But we're going to call you out on all these lies that you're saying behind the scenes, just like your mother. I agreed to join her justice group, and she assured me that nobody would attack me, and the very first comment was somebody being rude and offensive. That's not an attack. You know, like calling people liars and saying they're mentally ill, psychos, and getting on your thing and saying, I've done everything in my power, me, to harass you. And I know you're a liar, and so does everybody in my groups about that. Because we had this little thing going before we let you back in. We were going to see how nice I could be for you before you started doing what you're getting ready to do here. Pam said nothing. You wanted her to protect you? Pam doesn't get in people's messages and say, go do this. You got to do that. You got to do this. She's never done that. But I tell you what, if we get stuck on something that we want to debate, Pam politely puts the answer in there because she saved it all. She's got it all in her head. It was totally uncalled for and unnecessary. Just like you making comments about my son, little laughing faces under that about my son that you think I didn't see that I did see, and I've got him saved. She is a snake and manipulate others to do her dirty deeds. Never has she done that. Never has she asked any one of us to do anything. We are asking her. She misrepresented herself to our family? No, she didn't. She absolutely did not. My change in demeanor was to see what would happen if I was just nice to you and I bit my lip a little bit and I gave you the floor and I listened and I didn't insult. That was my change. But your demeanor hadn't changed at all. I did evaluate the medical records. I wasn't going to talk to her about Pam because she was pissing me off right here. And I didn't want her to know I was being pissed off. Paralegal from Dallas. She's not a paralegal from Dallas. She just studies this case. She is a nice person. Yeah, I know why your defense team didn't go into the medical records. Because you know what's there? Guilt. You think that your defense attorneys didn't understand the medical records? They spent no time really pulling it apart. Well, you know, the 7-month speedy trial, right? The 7 months, the fast track thing, that's all controlled by the defense. So people say, oh, it happened so fast, but that was all controlled by the defense. You go back and look, study your law. Nor has she ever taken a second. See, this is where she starts to get pissed off. And I let her have it in that one. And I got the mad face. Danelle gave me the mad face about that because every bit of this is true. Every single bit of it. There's none of that she can argue with. I wanted to talk to her on a podcast. I was going to get a hold of Aaron over there. If she would have said, yeah, I would have called Aaron. He probably would have done it. He's done it before. You were sending me a lot at once. I cannot answer it all. She's not going to answer any of it. Remember when she got mad at me for putting that IP thing up, calling the IP, calling the Instance Project, she talked to me on the phone for 1 hour and 58 minutes. I literally have about 1 to 2 hours a day that are not consumed by stuff. Well, thank you for giving me that 2 hours the other day to bitch me out for making you look like a liar. Lie detector. Will not speak for my mother. She's not answering that. I do not know why she said anything. Darlie has PTSD, and those are contradicted with PSTD. Darren says, oh, she just had a little case of the baby blues. She did go on one. Now she's gone back to the saying she's not going to talk about it, right? And then she goes, she did go on, and it was inconclusive. Well, that's not the truth. The truth is we don't know the results of that test because it's never been released to the public, and the court said she doesn't have to. So the only ones that we're getting that it was inconclusive from is Darlie. She did. Imagine answer questions about your children that died. Really, you're guilty about it. She did not fail. But Barbara Davis says she did fail. And she did not fail. I would encourage you to release that to the public. I was there when Darren did his. Now, why would you take a 13-year-old kid with you to have a husband take a lie detector test about killing kids? But putting a picture up of her kid is dangerous to her. But Darren taking her down to see this Brian Pardo guy and take a lie detector test about a murder, that's okay for a 13-year-old, right? That man yelled in his face for 2 hours. That was 100% not administered correctly and would most certainly reflect the shit show that was Brian Pardo. Well, Brian Pardo was the shit until he did that, until he, yeah. So that whole thing was a shit show. It was everybody else but Darren. One of the questions Darren failed on is, do you know the name of the person that killed your children? We have been promised so much by so many, and all too soon they walk away. The time and the money required. No, they walk away because they look at it and they see she's guilty. Everyone that I've seen that's coming out that don't need the money. Bill Clutter didn't need the money. ISU had the money had the whole backing of Indiana State University until they studied it. That's why they walk away. Thank you for a truth. We've all been promised so much by so many, and all too soon they walk away. Supporters walk away. She could say that it's because of time and money, right? That's a fact. No, they walk away. David Cam, they said he was coming out of prison, and Bill Clutter said he's going to raise the bar and he's going to prove that she's innocent. And David Cam was coming saying, "Wait, let me look at the case." I had a meme of it. Pam was off limits. You said so. I didn't say she wasn't off limits. I just said we're not going to talk about her because I don't want to hear you talk shit about her. Pam has taught me more lessons than the Darlie case. You can believe that. There's no love there, but I do admire her. She is, and see, I just said, don't talk about her, right? And then she says, okay, it's off limits, but then she goes in and talk about her. Okay, we won't talk about her. We're going to respect you, and then go right on talking. Pam has never thrown me under the bus, and there's been several times she could have. You dislike very few people. Yeah, and you happen to dislike the one that's in our non-supporter that has the most knowledge on this case. It's not me. I'll tell you that. I'll present it more video style than Pam does. But if you want somebody with the most knowledge on the case, you get Pam. If she had a YouTube channel and would use it, you guys would be fucked. Just like you were when I had that other one up, where I was gathering information. I was being taught by the people that took the time. I was being taught. Every file, just about every file you can think of, is in the group. Anything you say, there's documents that can back it up where it's wrong. Dislike very few people. You do not make enemies. Pam has orchestrated a group of like-minded people. No, we're not challenging your family. We're challenging what you say about the case. No, she hasn't. I've seen some of the shit your mom's done. She's telling me I will not defend my... And all I said to her was, okay, let's not talk about it. I'm not asking you to defend anything. And see, now check it out. Pam is off limits. You said so. And then she goes on for a whole paragraph. She ain't got me fooled. She ain't manipulating me. See, everybody's lying. You were not there. You saw a couple bruises, but you didn't see those ones. Yeah, your answers are, well, they were stupid. Quit the mistruth. You said superficial didn't mean deep. That's a mistruth. Look at her. Look at the way she talks to me. I caught you lying up here. Count my words, it's coming, right? I have no doubts with the CIU and I working together. But the other day, she kind of slipped up and said, I don't really know what they have. I don't know what they have. I'm not going to rethink my stance. Why would I rethink my stance? Because I've been hearing this shit for years. The sock is the key that's going to set her free. I have clearly stated that I do not think you are lying. I know you believe what you are saying to be truth. For example, you said Dr. Santos never said her wounds were superficial, but he did. You weren't lying. You just may have not known what I actually said. Now you do. Keep in mind that before, just read it. Let's read it. You can see what a liar this chick is all through these. Slow them down and read them. She did not sign them. Chris Brown did. No, we had the eBay. We had it that they were signed by Darlie Key herself. I even confronted your mother on it. She told me, don't worry about what she does. She did it. Just slow the video down and read this. I mean, I've been as nice as I can be to her. Slow down and read this, and you know how Danelle is. She's mad now. Now here comes the cursing. 5 or 6 separate meetings with the district attorney. It don't matter how many fucking meetings you have with the district attorney. That's his witness. How many times did Darlie get to talk to her fucking defense? That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. I'm not quoting any testimony because I think it's bullshit. Yes, they all called her ruling superficial. Medical records are the legal standard of the end of story. Okay, then when you stop telling everybody she didn't get a rape test because it's in the medical records. Again, the medical record. Yeah, we knew that. You're trying to say a superficial wound isn't a minor wound. Look at that. There's 3 of them. And to say that I'm guilty because of the law of party, I never said that to her. I said if you know that she's guilty and you're sitting out here lying, then you're complicit. Let's put it that way. Law of parties might not apply. That'd be like somebody pulling up, riding with somebody who runs in a store, robs a store, kills somebody, gets back in the car and leaves. That's the law of parties. But accessory to murder is when you flat cover for somebody. And I never said that to her. Where'd you guys see me say that? Yeah. If you are intentionally lying, it does work like that. His testimony isn't evidence anyways. You filed for a medical mistrial based on all the medical tests? I don't think so. Now, see, just because I told her this, if you are intentionally lying, you would be covering for a killer. And that's only if you're lying. Now, look at her. I'm starting to sound ridiculous. See, so she's already cursed at me, gave me 3 things, dogged one of my friends that I asked her not to talk about. Then she said she wasn't going to talk about it and put a whole paragraph down there. All right? So she's not what everybody thinks she is. Yeah, so accessories, yeah. Yeah, I only want to see it my way. You can tell that through this whole conversation, I only want to see it my way. Danelle's not doing that. She spoke facts. Pulled them right from the medical record, and you called them, I did not call them mistruths. I'm not misusing that law. I got that from a law book, dumbass. I did not quote that. I got that out of the law book. And now I'm insulting her with the facts of what that is. So now she's insulted. I've been so shitty to her. And that's exactly what. See, that's why she don't like that. She is an accessory after the fact if she's lying for her. If she knows, if Darlie told her that she really killed them boys and she didn't come back out here and tell us, she would be an accessory. And am I talking the fuck out of here? I have no intentions of doing any lies to anyone that does not 100% support my family. What that means is I'm not going to come up on your panel so you can debate with me and make me look stupid. That's what that means. I have nothing to do with your medical records. Now, look, I've crossed the line because I told her the fucking truth about a law. I crossed her line. I crossed the line. But when I asked you to stop talking about my friend like that, and you said you wouldn't, and you kept on, you didn't cross any lines, did you? I asked you nicely to stop doing that. I said, okay, we won't talk about her. This is how she acts behind the scenes. I've never seen anybody post a picture of her in a casket. I've never done it. Yeah, people, okay, you're right. People that hate child killers are haters. Okay, we'll give you that. You're right. There's people hate my son. Obnoxious. Yeah, but see, I've insulted you. I've already insulted her, though, right? But she's going to insult the whole group of people that I like to hang with. I've insulted her. You see me insulting her? Several times. Several times I insulted her. You have a bad taste in your mouth. Yeah, it tastes like fucking guilt, don't it? Just read how she is. This is how she is. That was very insulting, calling me a liar. I never called her a liar. Never once. I do now, but I didn't do it then. You are misquoting information. Okay. So you saying that you repeated this stuff from the medical record and it's all true. But you just got done saying that your family filed to have a mistrial based on the medical records. You can't have it that way. It might take me a minute, but I catch on real. Yeah, when I catch on, I'm in there. The general public that's had a chance to read that. All that them transcripts been up for years, man. I hurt her feelings. Please extend a little grace as I have hurt her feelings. Now go back up and read that and tell me where I've hurt her feelings. Okay, and here's where he's using the word superficial and directionally in that record. Now look, but I did put it up where they described the superficial wounds. See, I do seem ridiculous. The fact that I keep pushing it when I clearly said that was enough. Well, I told you we won't talk about Pam, and you fucking went on 3 paragraphs. Hypocrite. I don't understand medical terminologies and the use of that word. She's saying that it's superficial, it's directional. And this is a fucking nurse, y'all. Superficial means a minor wound just above the skin. As a matter of fact, when I went in to get my surgery today, and I'm talking to the doctor about the superficial tumor that's not into the muscle that they took out yet. It's superficial because it's minor. It hasn't gone through the fat and the muscle yet, but it still needs to be biopsied. I just had surgery this morning. Every doctor I see, I'm going to mention that superficial thing. One day I'm going to get one of them recorded. Yeah, and they say it's a deep wound. That's crazy. Listen to that. She's saying, I don't understand it. You don't understand it. You just proved it. Anybody read this? General wounds are classified as being one, superficial loss of epidermis only. She tells me I don't know it, but bam, there it is. Gotcha. And then I gave her the text. I gave her the testimony. I'm missing the medical records. Well, they're not because it states Exhibit 28B. I'm not missing the records. It's there, and that's what they're going off of. They're going off the medical records. But that's how Danelle is. She's a fucking liar. She's playing victim. She's insinuating that I've insulted her here. She's insinuating that I've called her a liar here. She tries to tell me what the word superficial means in this case, and she's wrong. She lies and says, first she said she wasn't going to talk about the molesting, and then she goes on about it. So I've caught you lying and your sister lying today. 37 minutes.